Welcome to Nacho Fitness Coach. I'm Sarah, the expert.
And I'm Kaylee, the beginner.
Join us as we discuss fitness culture
from our two very different perspectives.
So grab yourself a protein shake
or a glass of wine
and let's get started. So Kaylee, what do you know about proper etiquette in the gym?
Nothing.
Nothing?
No. Wipe down your equipment.
Oh, that's a good one.
Okay,
that's a good start. Really? That's it? I mean, you're full of a lot of common sense. So what would be something that you think would make a lot of sense in the gym?
Take your weights off.
Ooh, that's a good one. Also proper etiquette. Not everyone does that.
That's all I know.
What? I mean, those are two good ones.
That's it.
Most people don't, or a lot of people don't do either one of those. So
wipe your equipment. Was it unrack?
Yeah. Well,
de-rack.
Re-rack your weights.
Re-rack?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because you take them off the rack to put them on the barbell,
okay.
and then you'd have to put them back on the rack. So
that's about it.
Those are two really good ones.
Okay.
Do you think there's any etiquette officially about interactions with like other individuals in the gym?
That I don't know.
No.
Anything about that.
No.
At all.
Like, do you think it would be appropriate if somebody was using a piece of equipment that you would say, try to talk to them in the middle of their exercise or?
No.
So that would be something that would probably be frowned upon.
Probably wouldn't do that. Common sense tells me
no.
Probably not to do that.
That's also common sense.
I've heard about people asking about, I don't know what the word is, but like, this isn't the right word, but like shuffling in.
Oh, working in.
Yeah. Yeah. Like in between. So if they're like doing a circuit.
Right.
Work in to their.
Right. Yeah. You'll see, once you let somebody complete their reps and you know that they're taking a break or moving on and doing something different, that you say, hey, can I work in?
So then can you like put the weights that you need on that machine? Yeah.
And then in my opinion, the most appropriate gym etiquette is then put it back
to where they had it.
On where they had it. Okay. It's like, I'm going to work in, I'm going to move the pin or I'm going to add. Usually it's probably for more like the circuit machines. You're going to like move the pin and change it to what you need it to. But then I believe the most appropriate etiquette is to put it back to where it was, just to be nice. Right. So what do you think about sounds? Do you think there's etiquette with regards to the noises that one should make?
I know you liked a good grunt.
I'm not opposed to it. It sometimes just comes out.
I don't care.
I think where I draw the line is like
I don't think I've spent enough time in the gym
to really know.
Yeah.
It would be awkward if you had a bunch of people in the gym kind of really making superly strange sounds.
You got to do what you got to do.
I mean, I feel like there's appropriate grunts that makes sense with like the level of exertion.
But yeah, there's probably like an overly exhibitionist.
Like it'd be like the squeals. I kind of draw the line or squeaks.
What's a squeal? Can you?
I don't know. Just
show me.
Like high pitched sounds could be that would maybe cross the line a little bit.
Like men do that?
Yeah, I mean, there's some interesting sounds that can come out of people sometimes. I would just say keep it to a limit. Like a limit. Keep your volume to a limit. Or the really good ones are if you have a lighter weight and you're making really heavy grunt sounds. Usually they just kind of come out naturally if you're lifting heavier weights. So just an age or not an age appropriate, a weight appropriate. Well, and maybe age appropriate too.
If you're 45, absolutely not.
Right,
absolutely not.
No. And if you're under 20, then no sounds. But if you're in between those two ages,
make all the noise you need.
Whatever you need to make, it's totally fine. What do you think do you think there's anything that exists as far as like etiquette around the mirrors in a gym?
That I don't know. I am actually curious about that. Tell me.
I mean, every gym probably has their own rules.
I feel like the way that our gym, the gym that you and I own together, is you have a very small mirror situation.
Yeah. I didn't want to cover up the beautiful brick.
Right. But it's right next to the dumbbells.
Right.
And the benches are set up right in front of that. So I feel like if you're using dumbbells, you kind of have like free range of the mirrors for the most part.
Yeah.
And that's that.
The mirror's purpose are to check your form.
Well, sure.
I mean, most people, I feel like these days use them for selfies.
Yeah, as you should.
There's probably less checking of form in mirrors in gyms as there are selfies. Flexing, kind of checking things out a little bit.
I think a lot of gyms right now have a vast amount of mirrors.
I would say that it's probably not approved gym etiquette that if somebody's using the mirror to check their form, that say you step between that person and the mirror to take a selfie.
Yeah.
Or to pose.
Obviously.
Or like rip your shirt off and be like, I'm going to check my ab check for the day.
I mean, I'm not
I would frown upon that maybe.
I'm taking selfies and I don't want proof that I have even been there.
You haven't taken, well, we've taken gym selfies when we did the challenge.
Right.
I mean, does that count?
Not like in vain,
hey.
you know?
Yeah.
Not like check out my biceps, you know?
Triceps. Flex a little bit.
I've been getting some striations.
Yeah. Oh, look at you busting
in the
out
triceps.
the term. There we go.
I'm just saying.
It's a combination of building a little muscle, leaning out a little bit.
Might take some selfies on the tricep striations.
Yeah, that's popping a little bit in the back.
Get them.
Twisting that arm, and there you go.
Oh, that's what I wanted to, the bat wings.
The bat wings. Yeah, that's a common one to get addressed.
So anyway,
there we go.
That's neither here nor there.
Yeah, no there. So
I have a question.
What?
One day I was in the gym.
Yeah.
Only a couple gym bros in there. It was fine.
Yeah.
There was one gym bro that are the circuits like the ones that you put the pins in?
I would consider those
over there.
Yeah, the circuit weight machines.
You got the mirror.
Yeah, the mirrors by the free weights.
So then like
you've got the circuit machines kind of area. Yeah.
So I wanted to go blast my quads a little bit.
Okay.
On a machine, on the quad machine, way back in the corner.
Yeah, the leg extension machine.
I don't know.
Yeah. That's what it's called.
There was a gym bro.
Yeah.
That was working on the machine right in front of me. He got there first.
Right.
He was directly in front of me. Mm-hmm. I mean, we're talking like 2 feet.
Yeah.
He was working on
the row over.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Right there.
He was working on that. And I wanted to go blast my quads.
Yeah.
On the quad blaster. 6,000.
Renamed.
But we were like face to face, you know? He was like working on his thing. I was working on my thing, but we were like,
what's up?
Yo.
Did you get competitive?
No.
Do you think it was awkward? The eye contact was awkward?
It just kind of like we were just too close. And maybe that's just like a me issue. Maybe I need therapy for that. But we were like very close. And
there was a hamstring. So was he laying down doing like the hamstring curls?
I think so.
Yeah.
He was right in front of me.
Yeah,
I was like way back in the corner.
Yes.
And he was right in front of me. And I was like, should I have waited till he like finished his hamstring 7,000?
No.
Before I started the quad blaster 6,000? And, you know, I don't know. But we were on at the same time, and he was like, his head was like at my feet, and we were like,
we got this. Mm-hmm.
It was really awkward.
Just don't make eye contact.
We're just too close. Fine. If you could just move your machines.
I think we are definitely a little spoiled because the gym never gets very busy. We're a small town.
No, and it was like either of us could have been on any other machine in there. Yeah, they were all open.
So you guys chose to be next to each other.
To be
at the same facing that one.
Super awkward. I didn't know if I should be like, well, I'll wait to blast my quads.
You could have if it made you that uncomfortable.
But I didn't know like etiquette wise if I was supposed to do that.
I don't really know if there's appropriate etiquette for that.
Okay.
Other than if you're,
uncomfortable.
Feeling uncomfortable.
It was uncomfortable.
Well, then you should go somewhere else.
It was only like my 3rd time at the gym. So
is that why you haven't been back?
You should go somewhere else. Like what? Home?
You're like, okay, fine then. I'm just
go home. Just go home.
Do that. Well, I mean, speaking of circuit machines, I mean, I definitely am a firm believer that it is of etiquette to not allow the weight stacks to slam down between reps.
I know that about you.
That's a really bad habit from people, and you're only hurting yourself. Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah, of course, the gym owner's probably cursing you under their breath a little bit because you're not taking care of their equipment. Right. But if you are looking at appropriate use of that specific machine, you're shorting yourself on range of motion.
Right.
So you need to be making adjustments of the bench, the levers. I mean, all that stuff is adjustable based on your height, that you should be adjusting it to make sure you're getting full range of motion. You're not having that weight smack down between your reps because then you're cutting it short.
It's just uncalled for.
It is completely uncalled for. Plus, it's just really annoying.
Yeah.
And it's loud.
Rude.
I can assure you. R-O-O-D, rude.
I can assure you, I've never
gonna let smack my your weights.
Smack.
That's good one. I'm good.
Okay.
Oh my goodness. All right. So if it comes to gym etiquette, like what else might be something that you think would be something that people either overlook or maybe do? I don't know.
Honestly, I haven't been there enough.
Cardio, wiping things down.
Yeah, wiping things down.
Oh, one thing I will definitely say is you have to remember when when you're doing cardio, your sweat doesn't just drip on the display. It's falling and it's just all over.
Splashes everywhere.
It is all over the place.
Gets wet and
if you're a sweater and you are on the cardio machine, don't just wipe off the display and the handlebars. Like, you got to help your gym out and wipe the sides of the columns and everything else where your sweat might be flying and flinging, because it's all over.
Okay.
It doesn't just do that. But
noted.
It's help.
Noted.
Let's see. Well, I actually have, it's kind of a little spin on the topic.
Do you need to wipe down your your dumbbells, like the handles of your dumbbells?
You can. You should, probably.
Okay. Well, yeah, because you touched on it.
I also...
It was like that one time I was in the gym with COVID.
Right. You're like, am I supposed to... I was like, I think we're over that.
Well, I went into the...
That was like 3 years ago.
I did the gym on Monday. No, that was like 2 weeks ago.
I know. But like the whole COVID thing.
Oh, yeah.
We're over that
We
now,
don't care now.
No, we don't care now. That's why I was like, that's just a cold.
No, so I went to the gym on Monday and I tested positive for COVID on Tuesday, and I let Sarah know.
I was like, oh.
And she was like, well, nobody probably used the dumbbells you used.
those are the small ones. Nobody else uses them.
You're fine. Okay. My biggest fan, my biggest motivator right here.
No, I didn't mean to like crush you.
Every day.
Yeah, I think you can. I think that a lot of times spraying, if you have like a gym where you've got actually spray and then a towel, doing that on the towel first and then just wiping off the handles instead of like spraying things everywhere, I think is helpful. But I don't know. I'm not a big germaphobe, so to me, it's not.
I'm not either.
It's not that big of a deal. I mean, for us at our gym, like, we've got people that clean and come through and wipe it down. Yeah. Helping is definitely much appreciated.
Do you spray the towel?
Yeah.
That's for everything?
I do.
You spray the towel and then wipe it down?
Yeah.
Okay.
I do. That's just my personal preference, really. But especially with anything that's metal, because depending on what the spray is made out of, if it sits on there and doesn't get wiped off, like we did have some overspraying happening on like the metal dumbbells, and it was rusting.
Yeah.
Because there was, kind of pools of that water dripping down the sides, and it was sitting on the rack that was also metal. And so I would say, as you're cleaning, that's great. But yeah, it's a double-edged sword because it's super helpful. You want to keep your place clean, but at the same time, I'm not somebody that's really super worried about germs in most cases. So I'm like, it just builds my immune system when I come into a communal place like this where people are all
What about
mixing.
which has not been an issue for me, when you see somebody doing something very wrong, very dangerous, what's the proper protocol for that?
I personally don't say anything.
You don't?
I don't. I am available for people to ask me for help, but I don't correct people when they're in the gym. Mm-mm.
Should you, as a gym patron, you're a gym owner?
Mm-mm. I don't think so.
No.
But I'm also a huge fan of like, I don't want your unsolicited advice. So don't talk to me unless I ask you.
Yeah.
And that's just a general life rule for me. Yeah. Right. I'm like, I don't want your unsolicited opinion. If I wanted it, I would ask you a question. So I see a lot of things that go down that are wrong in the gym. Walking by, especially it kills me with like squats or deadlifts, because those are really complex movements, but they're highly beneficial. And I like to see people do them correctly. But if you're not asking me for opinions or, guidance.
Don't you think that could help though?
It totally could. It totally could.
It's not your business, not your circus, not your monkey.
It is not my thing. I try to at least wear the logo, branded clothing, so people would know I'm affiliated with the gym. So if they have any questions, they could ask. But it is not my personal preference to correct somebody that's not asking. But that's probably more of me as a person and not necessarily official gym etiquette, I guess. Yeah. But yeah, that's right. Because I'm Nacho Fitness Coach. I am not your fitness coach.
Cold-hearted.
You pay me money, I'll tell you everything you want. You can hire me. I charge a lot.
I know. I've heard. It's a word around town.
So, but it's one of those things where it's like, I don't. Okay, I mean, I'm sure people do, but I would probably highly discourage. That was Siri. I hit my watch. Okay. I would discourage patrons from
butting in.
Yeah, I think
on other people's workouts.
Yeah, I just think, you just don't know the personality of that person.
It's happened to me. at your gym.
Has it? Mm-hmm. Oh, well, that's nice.
Which it wasn't like.
What'd you tell him?
I wasn't offended.
Well, but you're somebody that you're like, okay,
I wasn't offended. It was like worst case scenario, like not what I want to happen.
No, but I would say in general, probably a good thing to steer away from. Just let people come in, mind their own business.
Yeah,
do
let
their
me
own
just
thing.
like, it's like when I work out at home, I'm just kind of like
do your own thing,
flailing around, figuring it out.
Mm-hmm. And you just want that same privacy at the gym.
Yeah, and I think that's the hard part for me, is that there's not the privacy.
Oh, there's not. I mean, people are in there, but a lot of people are focused on what they're doing. They're getting in, they're getting out.
I've always been a big proponent of, as far as like women, mothers in general, everybody's so worried about what they look like at the pool, what they look like in their swimsuit. And I have always been like, guess what? Nobody cares what you look like, because everybody's too worried about what they look like.
Yeah, that's true too.
Which is very true. I have a hard time carrying that over into the gym. But I try to remember that. Like, nobody really cares what I'm doing because everybody's worried about what they're doing.
I feel like a group fitness situation, there might be more watching of what other people are doing, just because you're in everyone's business. You're in a small room. It's hard not to, unless you're in the front row and you're just watching the instructor. But when you're in the gym, a lot of people do. They put their headphones on, they get into their music, they do their thing, and they're getting in and they're getting out. They're not just putting in their time.
Nobody's there people watching necessarily.
No, not at all. It's definitely in and out. You may have a few people that love to chat and are a little bit more social, but the average time that people are spending in at least our gym, it's pretty in and out and whatever. So, but that also brings up another thing where I am also a huge proponent of controlling your weights. Dropping weights drives me bonkers, because if you can pick it up but you can't control it back to the ground, you're missing out on half the benefits of the lift.
It's like a no lung zone, essentially.
Right. Well, we could talk about that too.
We don't like lunks in our gym. The gym that we own together.
I am kind of a lunk zone. I do actually have on like one of the wallpapers I created.
I know you do.
You walk in, it does say lunk zone.
I know. That was a bit.
The one that was. That's a little shout out to Planet Fitness, because even though they are non-judgmental, they really are super judgmental.
But you just said the same thing.
But mine's not grunting.
I don't want people grunting. You don't want people dropping weights. That's a lunk, right?
I didn't say grunting. I said inappropriate grunting. Right? If it matches your level of exertion, it's fine.
I've never been at Planet Fitness, so I don't know what the threshold is.
No, I don't know either. I think you have to get called out by one of your fellow gym members.
Would you get the lunk alarm in a Planet Fitness?
I would, because I walk in with a huge water bottle.
Oh, yeah, you're 1 gallon.
They don't like the big water bottles. They don't.
Okay, but you're lifting.
The tank tops.
You're lifting. You're grunting.
They also don't have like deadlifting.
Oh, you can't wear tank tops?
Mm-mm.
Like this?
Mm-mm. I don't think so.
I'm out.
Yeah.
$10 a month? No, thank you.
Yeah. Nope. They also don't have free weight barbell squats, and you can't deadlift there. So they have the Smith machine that's on the rack or whatever. But so you can still get super effective workouts completed at a Planet Fitness, but you definitely have to be a little bit more quiet.
Okay. So okay. You and I, as co-owners of gym.
Right. Uh-huh. Now you have a say.
What you and I do need to do is get back to something that gets you and I together.
Yeah.
At the gym again.
Right. Yeah, that's good.
The 12-3-30 challenge was great. I think we need to move away from the treadmill. We need to get
a lifting challenge.
We broached it. I got hurt, injured.
You left me after the first day.
I did.
And did I find a lifting challenge? I found that like wall Pilates challenge, which was somewhat questionable.
I looked into that one.
I would be as comfortable with that as I am listening to that song WAP that you just made me listen to during the break. So
I did no such thing.
We have some behind the scenes video of my facial expressions.
I played Christian music.
Listening to that for the first time.
Thought was going on.
So we need to come up
with a lifting challenge where we meet at least 3 days a week, 3 mornings a week.
Yeah,
where we're lifting an appropriate amount for me. I feel like I've the body weight workouts I've been doing Like I said, I've got some striations.
You're getting there. That's, yes. You're learning some of the lingo. You're like, I still don't know exactly what that means.
I probably don't actually have them. Well, let's do that because that's a thing I think we need to do.
So we need to search to see what we can find for some sort of.
I don't care. I don't care if you lift heavier than I do. I'm not trying to lift what you're lifting.
No. But we can do the same movement, but you have a different amount of weight that's appropriate for you.
I have a gym membership.
You do have a gym membership, which means you should come.
Right.
And we should do that.
Let's figure that out.
All right. So we'll look for a strength training challenge. So there's some etiquette that you definitely have to pay attention to. Yep. At a gym, working around people not necessarily watching you, but it's kind of a spin to that. I do have a favorite trainer that I do kind of follow, and he's pretty entertaining on social media. His name is Ben Bruno.
Okay.
And he has the 10 training commandments. And so it's not necessarily like gym etiquette in general, but it's just some good guidelines with around just etiquette in your training program. Right. So I thought it was kind of a good fit. So number 1 is thou shalt not train through pain, which is a good one. People think that
big proponent of that.
You're right. You would definitely agree with that one for sure. You're like, yep, that makes
if I'm feeling,
some of it's common sense
if I'm
though, right?
Uncomfortable,
why would you do it? Yeah,
right.
Don't train through pain. Okay. So think of strength training as your entree and cardio as the side dish. Both have their place, but divvy your time and energy accordingly.
Okay.
So you need to work on that.
Okay.
Because you're kind of flip-flopped a little bit.
Why?
I'm just saying.
If I love to run.
True, but you should have a appropriate. See, they both have their place.
But it needs your time and energy. The strength training has to be the entree?
I think so.
There are runners out there who, for the strength training is not the entree. They just love to run. They may supplement with strength training. Can I just love to run?
You'd be a better runner if you strength trained more.
But so the focus needs to be on the strength training in order to love being a runner. That's not making sense to me. Like, I'm really taking issue with this.
You're like, number 2 is a no for you. You're like, I don't agree with that one. I hate it. Okay. The hard exercises that you hate doing are generally the ones that work the best.
I agree.
Sorry. That one I totally agree with. Yep. That's usually a general good rule of thumb. Okay. You can always make an excuse not to train, but at some point you just have to make time for it or be weak and out of shape.
Yeah.
Which is also
100%,
true.
100%.
100. Okay. Number 5, thou shalt train thy legs.
Yeah.
I agree with that. Don't skip leg day, bro.
No. Legs suck though.
Well, they're big muscles. You got to lift heavy weights to actually make them change.
I have experience. Do you just call it DOMS? Like the
delayed onset muscles?
Onset.
Yeah.
Did you just say DOMS?
Sure.
I've only seen it online. I have experienced it severely in both the quads and the calves.
From strength training or from running?
The quads were from
me.
You.
Well, we did a lot of squats. We had to work on
the calves were form. From the first time I ran
with your barefoot shoes,
minimalist shoes. Yeah.
Yep. That'll do it.
And they were both,
right there, bang bang,
severe to very severe.
You were sore for a few days.
Mm-hmm.
You made it through though. You're fine.
I texted you and I was like, "Dear Sarah, I'm in very severe pain."
I was like, "Well, you ran without your shoes,"
and you were like, "Listen, bitch."
Just put your big girl panties on. Let's do this again.
That's exactly what you said. You said, put your big girl panties on, drink some water, and drink a protein shake.
You'll be fine.
That's exactly what you said to me, word for word.
Okay, I'd struggle with this one for sure. Right. Mobility work is boring. Do it anyway.
I don't know what that means.
Mobility, like just general mobility work. Some of the stuff that Nick talked about earlier in the season. Dynamic. And the stability and just general mobility.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not necessarily just like static stretching, but just, getting your body to move in ways that you do in everyday life and not just, the one pattern of movement that you have for like a squat, for example. Okay. Number 7, remember that outside of the gym, no one cares what you did for your workout or about your diet. Keep it to yourself. I agree with that. Except for when we're podcasting. Because then we'll talk about it all we can.
I heavily agree. Because I totally agree. If you ran a marathon and you didn't post about it.
It didn't happen.
Did you run the marathon?
Oh.
Probably not.
I actually it it doesn't really apply these days, but there used to be this rule of thumb where people lived by, you don't talk about religion or politics.
Yeah.
Right? That's kind of went to the wayside. Social media has ruined that. Kind of wish we could go back to that, but I've always added nutrition too. Don't talk about religion, politics, or nutrition, because I don't really care what you choose to eat or what you can eat or can't eat. Or
Fitness.
I don't care. I don't care about your nutrition. I don't want to hear.
No, we're not talking about nutrition. We're talking about gym.
Well, he said diet too. Keep your workout. No one cares what you did for your workout or about your diet. Keep it to yourself.
But you said nutrition.
I did, which is diet.
I'm asking about the nutrition part.
Yeah.
Or the fitness part.
Oh, the fitness part. Like your workout?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really care what you did for that either. Okay. A lot of times people ask because they think I
care,
and I'm like, I don't care.
And I'm not talking about me. I think for some people they need, it comes down to validation.
Yeah.
Is that
am I doing the right thing or not?
When it's somebody that hasn't done it.
Yeah.
For most of their
I like
life.
you, so I'm okay with you asking me questions.
I'll ask you questions. I don't post on social media. About my fitness or nutrition.
I wouldn't on social media because you're going to get a lot of really bad advice probably.
I just don't.
And then you don't have one way. You're just all over the board.
But I know a lot of people who do post their gym selfies, gym workout clips, nutrition. I don't know. I don't have a strong opinion about it. I feel like for some people that's kind of a motivation. Like
could be.
It helps them.
That's true.
To keep going as long as they get that like external validation. I don't need that.
No.
I understand that other people do need that.
So you do you.
Right.
I just don't want to hear about it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So
but you can always unfollow people.
I do a lot.
I do too. I don't follow anybody.
I have rules around my social media, and if you break one of my rules, unfollow. Unfollow. All right. I'd rather enjoy seeing you in person. They get so annoyed by your social media.
I think everybody's entitled to post what they want to post.
And I can choose what I get to
your choice. And we probably should do another episode about that. But it is your choice to post what you want to post. And it is other people's choice whether they want to follow that or not.
And consume it. Absolutely. 100%. Okay. So number 8. Similarly, nobody cares how much you lift. Drop the ego, drop the weight, and do it right. Form matters. Nick talked about that too during his episode. And I don't know what number was that. We did Nick. Nick was back in episode 7. He talked about making sure your form is right.
I honestly don't even know if you posted how much you post or how much you lifted. I don't even, honestly, for me, I don't even know what that means.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't really matter.
Whatever.
It doesn't really matter. Okay. So train the muscles you can't see in the mirror. Ooh, I like this one. Train the muscles you can't see in the mirror. It's been a while since I've read this list. Glutes, hamstrings, back. More than the muscles you can see, like your front side. It's good for you. And just because you can't see them, everyone else can.
True.
That's very true. But it is true. It is hard because everyone thinks about like the abs or how you're looking in the mirror. The muscles you have down in your backside are pretty large, actually, between your back, your glutes, your hamstrings, and everything. You should train those muscles. Don't forget about them.
Right.
Just because you're not always looking in there.
Yep.
I will also say that's the most surprising place for a lot of clients when you start seeing like having weight loss is how much fat leaves your back because you don't see it. And so you don't necessarily notice it. But all right, the last one, number 10, don't overcomplicate things. Always be learning. But at some point you just have to put down the books and pick up the weights.
That's where I'm at.
Yeah. Or you just pick something.
Weights,
you pick something though, and you're just
I found something
to
that
one
works
thing
for me. And that's all I can do for right now.
Yeah. You just have to do it.
Figure it out.
That's the most important part is that you're doing it.
Because I wasn't doing this a year ago.
No, which is awesome.
Doing this 2 years ago.
No, it's progress. So
sometimes when I get frustrated with myself for what I can't do, I try to zoom out and remember what I wasn't doing a year ago.
And you're like, how much I am doing now and how much things have changed. Yeah. So that's good to focus on too. So there we go. There's some gym etiquette things to consider when you're in the gym working with people, and then just some training etiquette or some, opinions on some commandments. Ben Bruno, he's fabulous. Okay. Find him on social media. Check him out. He's pretty entertaining. So
very cool.
Anyways, that's all we got for today. Now we're officially halfway through season 2.
Yeah, we are. Are we going to do a mid-season?
I don't know that we'll do a mid-season. We haven't done a challenge or anything yet. We actually really haven't accomplished anything in the last 12 episodes. So I don't think we need a mid-season update this one. But that we do need to do some research then between now and when we get ready to record.
Yeah.
Episode 13, we need to have a decision on what our challenges going to be for this season.
We need to figure out how I'm going to get in the gym. Get me in the gym.
Yeah. So we need to just work on that. So we'll take some time. We'll figure that out.
Yeah.
And then we'll talk about it. We'll present it on the next episode.
Yeah.
Of what we're going to do.
Yep.
For our season 2 challenge to keep everyone
And that's the hard
engaged.
part is that, like I mentioned before, we record in batches. So like we're recording in just a couple of weeks. So if you want to follow along with those challenges, follow the Instagram is where those will be.
Yeah. Well,
because our episodes happen quickly.
They do. Well, we can repurpose social media. People going, you think? No? I'll find it.
That's like more real time.
That's true. Yeah. It is. Fair enough.
What I mean.
Fair enough. So very good. Awesome. Well, that's all we got.
All right.
Lots of good information.
Yep.
So that's all we got. So until next time.
Bye.
Thanks for listening. Be sure to head over to our Instagram at Nacho Fitness Coach and let us know how you feel about the topic. Do you love it or hate it?
Also, don't forget to hit that subscribe or follow button wherever you're listening. And if you like our podcast, leave us a rating. See you next time.
You've been listening to Euphony Innovatives Sonified.